Hello everyone, Victor 32 back with some mail. Just a couple of things. Uh, Unfortunately, I come to you with bad news. Canada Post has decided to go on strike again because assholes. I don't know. They're just being jerks at this point, in my opinion. Petty and selfish. I get they're upset because the Canadian government just announced that they want to do some cuts. Basically, there's still people in the country that get their mail delivered to the door. About 25% people, not much, a few million. The rest of us have community mailboxes that they deliver the mail to, so why not everyone? And also, talk of closing a few post offices in some rural communities, which again makes sense if you have a pretty small community and you have two or three post offices. Why do you really need two or three post offices? Anyhow, um, Canada Post is in massive debt, and the union seems to be inflexible to making changes. I don't know. They can't seem to negotiate. They went on strike last year, right before the holidays, right before Christmas, and then the last few months, they've been doing other uh, strike action, if you will. First, they were not doing any overtime. Then recently, they decided we're just not going to deal with any flyers in the mail, and now they just decided to walk off the job again. And they were locked out at one point as well, if I recall, and doing rotational strikes. Anyway, enough of that. Let's just get on to the mail. That being said, next week I'm expecting maybe two things that are not Canada Post related, and then we'll see about the week after that and the weeks following that. I'm not expecting too much for the next foreseeable future, but a couple things here and there, I suppose. Anyhow, that is going to put a damper on anything that I'm waiting on for deck reviews and stuff. It is what it is. So, first, I got some decks in Kickstarter. The first one is the Bicycle Psychedelic, which is from Collectible Playing Cards, or technically their new brand, AIPlayingCards.com. Great. So now they're going into doing AI design decks instead of designing them themselves. It is a pretty interesting deck, and shout out to them for sending me a second deck, which is always nice. I apologize. I don't know why it seems like things are a little bit dark in this video. Maybe it's just me. Well, it is what it is. Moving on. I have another one from Kickstarter. This is from Animal Mother Films and Palmer Magic, aka Son Funkware, and this is the new Lost in the Shuffle second edition deck, which is a follow up to the first one they did, alongside of a documentary about the mysteries from within court cards, which I still haven't seen, haven't got access to. It is what it is. And then I got some decks from 311. Oh, and actually, before I get onto that, shout out to John Ornery, who basically gifted me this. I only paid for shipping. They gave me a credit / refund for the cost of the deck, so I appreciate that. Thumbs up. Shout out to them as well. Moving on to 311, I got the New Monarchs Prestige Edition, which are shiny holographic foil tuck cases. I did get two, and also shiny foiled backs, which I think look pretty nice. And then I got one more set of decks that I got on Kickstarter, which are also a game, and that is River Rats from 4 Suit Studio. Say that 10 times fast. It's just basically a poker type game. However, it's not about gambling. It's about teamwork, working together cooperatively to try to beat these river rats. You're trying to put the river rats in debt while they're trying to do the same to you. Uh, Whoever goes into debt first loses, basically. You can play it anywhere from 1 to 4 players. These are printed by WJPC, for the record, so pretty good quality. I forgot to mention, I'm not sure who printed the Monarchs. Obviously, it's in China. And the Lost in the Shuffle was printed by 808 playing cards out of, I guess, China. And obviously, Psychedelic Deck was printed by USPCC. Now, also with the River Rats, they set this little card. This is a little one card puzzle, which I've seen some of these around from other creators. I've never had any, and that is nice enough to send one. This is basically it's a puzzle on one card that you're trying to find how to get from the starting point to this finish point, and it's pretty interesting. And I also got this, a baggie. What's in the baggie? 10 of these nice poker chips for the River Rats game, which are not needed for the River Rats game. You just need the deck of cards. But I figured, why not? And it came, whoops, with this nice baggie. Then I got an expansion from KTBG, Kids Table Board Games, kidstablebg.com. And it's an expansion for Cafe Bars, the Equipment Micro Expansion, which adds 8 cards. They are a Canadian company, so I figured I would support them in this little way that I could. But yeah, looks pretty nice. Speaking of expansions, I was at Walmart the other day and I came across one that I was interested in, and that is the Uno So and No Mercy expansion pack, which ups the agony. Great. And has special coins as well, which are just plastic coins, but they're fine for what they are. There you go. Kind of see what you get there. And then I got a game from Allplay, which is actually I got more from them, but this one is direct from Allplay's website, and this is Soda Jerk, which is designed by Chris Yee of the Dice Tower, one of the big names there, art by Sai Beppu, fantastic artist. And this is a game. It's all about it's malt. It's a malt shop theme to it, and you have 5 different flavors of malts, and people are going to be playing cards face down underneath each one of these, or flipping them face up on the turn, and while also holding some in your hand for the end of the game. And basically, you're going to be it's kind of a stock market type game. You're going to be looking at like all the orange under the orange category here, add them up. So in this case, it would be 4. Then you'll subtract the other ones, which is 3 in this example, and so the orange would be worth 1 each, and you multiply that by how many orange you have in your hand. Kind of a thing. It's a game about serving delicious beverages or being a jerk. So it's kind of interesting. But that's not the only one I got from them, because I also got a couple. I got a bunch of stuff here from Board Game Bliss, including stuff that's falling all over the place, including 2 more games from Allplay that I pre-ordered. The first one, and these both have art by Sai Beppu. The first one from Whitney Lorraine. It's called For the Emperor, which is a 2-player lane battler type game where you are got 7 cards in between both players that you're trying to win control of by playing cards on your side with different values and abilities. 2 clashing armies working to overpower, outwit, and outmaneuver each other to claim victory. And these are all part of their tiny box line of games, because they are tiny little boxes. And then the other one is called Slambo, also art by Sai Beppu, designed by Ryan Richford. And it's a game that's about, check out that booty, sumo wrestling. You're trying to stay balanced or you'll end up slamboed. It's a game where you are going to be playing cards onto a discard pile. And if you are ever forced to go above 10 or below 0, you get slamboed. And you will get one of the same cards. And whoever gets free same cards first loses the game, and everyone else wins. So interesting little game. I'll be looking at those on the channel in November. Then I got, speaking of Uno expansion packs, I got more from Board Game Bliss. These are add-on packs. There is the Speed Pack, which forces other players to play extra cards on the turn to speed it up. We have a stack pack, which lets players stack cards, including draw cards. And then there is the reverse pack. Well, you guessed it, it's all about reversing. Reversing people and skipping them, reversing them, forcing them to draw, etc., etc. And there is the swap pack, which is all about forcing players to swap cards or hands. And it's fine. I haven't opened them up or looked at them yet, but they're basically there's a few cards in each. It was $3.95 for all four in a set, so basically a buck each. So I can't complain. Then I got a little game from Button Side Games, designed by Mike Berg, called Tides. And this is, I think it came out a couple of years ago. Finally, it was in stock again, so I jumped on it. It's a 1 to 2 player game that's about collecting different items from the beats on the tide. So, and there's like a high tide and a low tide side to the cards, and yeah, seems pretty cool. Then there is Cato, or Cato, which I'll look at in December. It's got a present theme, as you can see, in a very cool box. It opens like this, although not sure how durable this is going to be. It's just basically stickers on both sides. We'll see. It is a nice, thick, kind of double-layered box. So this is a game about giving, keeping, and exchanging your gifts to get the highest score. It's the thought that counts, or not. So it's a little kind of a set collection tableau building game. Try to score the most points with gifts. Seems pretty cool. I like it. Then I got, there's more. There's a few more. There is Overstocked, which is from a little company called Play for Keeps. That's my first from them. So again, it's all about these toy crazes from the 90s, like Tamagotchis and Furbies, and there's also yo-yos and teddy bears. And you are entering the high-stakes world of 90s toy warehouse management in a quick interactive spatial card game for 1 to 6 players. You're going to be connecting, trying to either manipulate the value of every player's toys, or increasing your own stock, and just trying not to end up overstocked. There's even a solo mode and some expansions. But basically, you're going to be scoring points for your biggest group of each toy at the end of the game after building these tableaus, and based on a central tableau. However, the one that has the most value will basically crash and you get negative points for it. So it's not a high scoring game. Excuse me. It's interesting though. Then there is Mana Mana. This is from Zock Verlag, or Zock Zum Spielen, out of Germany, and also apparently Simba Toys. And this is a game where you're striving for mana, the life force of the Maori. What you're doing is collecting symbols of courage and wisdom. Only if you share your powers will you draw enough mana, strength for the mana, and win. So you got cards that have these different suits on them, and you're going to be collecting sets of them in front of you. But once you put down a set of, say, green, you can't put any more green in front of you. But you can put them in front of other players, and when you do that, you collect these mana tokens. And basically, you're trying to collect mana tokens and sets of cards to get the most points at the end. So that's a nice, simple little game. And then I got 2 games here that are from a company called Kendi Games, which is, I believe, also out of Germany. Yes. And the first one is called Blanco, which is a game where you have a bunch of cards, and you're going to be starting off with them in a 3x3 grid like this. And if you ever get free cards with the same numbers across, you get rid of them. Or free cards with the same color vertically, you get rid of them. And then you're going to be reducing your cards from a 3x3 to a 2x3, and then eventually a 2x2, and eventually getting rid of them. And then when you do that, you're going to do a 4x3, and then whoever gets rid of the 4x3 first wins the game. It's kind of a setting game, although you'd think by the setup that it was a golf game, but it's not. Fortunately, we have Quando, which is Portuguese for when. I believe Blanco is Portuguese for white, or blank. I'm blanking on that, pun intended. Both of these, by the way, are designed by Reinhard Staup. And this one came out last year. The other one came out this year. Quando is a game where you have these double-sided cards that have numbers 0 through 10 on both sides. And each card is completely different. And basically, it's a golf-esque game where you're trying to end up with the lowest score possible. But you're going to have these cards in your hand, and you're going to be playing out uh, anywhere from like one card to pair to three of a kind, four of a kind, five of a kind, or a run of three on your turn to get rid of cards. And at the end of the turn, you'll draw another card. And then at some point in time, somebody's going to knock and bring the game to an end, or the draw pile will run out and bring the game to an end. And whoever has the lowest score basically will win. Hopefully, if you're knocking, you have the lowest score. Otherwise, you will not. Well, basically, you're trying to end up with the lowest points after somebody gets to 50 points and win the game. It's an interesting game. I like that it's a golf-esque game, but you have these double-sided cards. You can always take a gamble and flip a card over without knowing what's on the other side, and hopefully reduce your score and not increase it. I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. Those two games. Then I have one that's from Jolly Dutch. It's been a while since I got something from Jolly Dutch. Designed by Stefan Hendricks, and this is Donkey Valley. That's my Shrek impersonation. Donkey. This is a game where you are trying to load up donkeys and make the call on whether or not they can handle it. Each donkey has a different capacity limit or rules surrounding it, and you're going to be playing cards face down. Then everyone's going to vote yay or nay on whether they think the donkey has been overloaded or not. And then if you're correct, you get to collect your cards for points. And if you're wrong, you don't. Uh, it's an interesting little game. I like it. And this came out, I'm not sure when, a year or two ago. It's kind of cute. I'll look at that soon on the channel, sir. And then there is Up or Down. It has a nice shiny foil box. It's a game from Capstone Games, designed by Wolfgang Kramer and Michael Kiesling. I think they've done a few games, notable games. This is a game that has an elevator theme. And you're going to be playing cards, collecting and playing cards in ascending and or descending order in front of you. It seems pretty interesting. Once you choose, see how far you can go for big points. Keep each elevator going the same way until the game ends. And you got cards all the way up to, I guess, 110, no, 125, I guess. 1 to 125, something like that. Seems pretty interesting. And then I have a game here from Blue Orange Games called Next Station Tokyo. Domo. I believe Domo is Japanese for thanks. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it's the only Japanese word I think I know. Actually, no, I also know arigato, which is similar to obrigado in Portuguese, and inspired by that, I do believe. Anyway, this is a game I previously got Next Station London, which I looked at on the channel. It's a flip and write game where you have this map, and you'll be flipping cards and connecting lines from station to station, trying to score the most points. It plays anywhere from 1 to 4 players. Don't recall when this one came out. 2023. There was also Next Station Paris, or Paris, which is apparently the easiest of the three. I do have the original London. Now I got this one, which is a bit more challenging, apparently. And I'm looking forward to checking it out on the channel in November. Got a couple more here from Board Game Bliss. The next one here is from Korea Board Games, and this was a pre-order. It's called Stella Quest, which is it's got nice UV ink on the box. I don't know if you can really see that, but it's there. And this is a trick-taking game where you are going to be collecting cards representing different human emotions. Each time you win a round, you collect a card, but you want to be careful winning multiple times in a row or collecting the same emotional cards again and again, because that will lead you astray from your goal. I will say this card is a beautiful production. Nice box with the UV ink. Nice quality cards with interesting artwork. You're trying to basically collect cards, I believe, values of 1 through 6, without basically collecting duplicates. You also get these nice tokens, which are actual, nice poker chip quality tokens. And there is a tray that comes in here that's removable from the insert to hold the cards in. It's very good production, in my opinion. And then I have one that's new is from Cosmos. It's a two-player game called Caesar and Cleopatra, where you're both vying for control of power, influence in Egypt. While Cleopatra fights for her country's independence, Caesar is trying to expand his influence over Egypt. I actually recently watched a documentary series on Netflix called The Roman Empire, which I do recommend if you're interested in history like this. It's pretty cool. This is actually, apparently they've sold over 350,000 copies worldwide. Two-player game. This is a new version of an older game, and apparently they have made this one a bit more simplified, streamlined, a bit more newbie friendly. So looking forward to checking that one out. And then I have one more game, uno mas, uh, which I got from the Geek Market. I do have another one coming next week from the Geek Market, presumably. And this is The Tides of Time. This is a two-player game, which is pretty cool. You're going to be getting a hand of cards. It's an 18-card game. It's a pretty big box for 18 cards, wouldn't you say? It does have a little score pad and a pencil as well. But basically, you are trying to build grand civilizations by combining a set of complementary cards in your kingdom and carefully sabotaging your opponent's plans. And you play 3 rounds, and either you're going to have a memorable empire or a pitiful group of random ventures. I like that. It's a tactical game with grand choices and merciless cunning. It's basically a game where you're going to be getting a hand of cards. You're going to be selecting one, passing the rest to your opponent, and then repeating until you have some cards in front of you. And each one is going to score based on different things, based on different icons or whatnot, and majorities. And it's pretty cool. It's a nice little game. The cards are big. They're pretty big. And it's nice artwork. And this came out a few years ago. It's from, I didn't mention, it's from Portal Games out of Poland, which is awesome. And yeah, it is used, but it's still in pretty good condition. So that is it for this week. That's quite a bit. Next week, significantly less. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Pray to the postal gods or whoever that this strike ends once and for all. And we'll see you next time for more. Thanks for watching.